Hey guys, welcome back to Review It TV. We're doing a cleaning video on the UTV here, which is the Can-Am Maverick X3. We wanted to go ahead and give you some suggestions on how to clean it and what to use for your cleaning solutions. There's a lot of options out there and there's a lot of videos out there to look at. Some people have preferences on particular things they don't want to put on their vehicle, the seats and whatnot, and what they do like. So this is just a suggestion from us. It's not something we're telling you to do, it's just maybe something that you would find helpful for you when you're cleaning your UTV. So let's go ahead and go over some of the things we're going to use today when we do clean our UTV. One of the things that people use a lot right here would be a traditional cleaning brush, which most people use on their regular vehicles. The reason those are really good for regular vehicles is because most vehicles don't have all these plastic surfaces on the exterior. They have metal doors, clear coat, stuff that's designed to be able to take the bristles of those brushes. You can still use them, and I've seen a lot of people use them, but you can take chances on scratching these plastic doors and surfaces with the brush bristles. So you may want to consider using one of these, which is a hand scrubby, and these guys come really soft. I'm not sure exactly what this material is, but you can find these in different colors at your local hardware stores. I would suggest getting one of these. So after you use your pre-spray solutions to get it cleaned off, you can do a final cleaning by hand, get in all the finer crevices, so that way all the dirt and stuff comes out. You want to get some of these microfiber auto cloths. They're designed to not really scratch when you're drying. You can get a multi-pack that has 5 or 6 of those. You're going to want to get what we use is called a soap cannon. Now there's some that you can find locally, but if you want to get a better style soap cannon, you're probably going to have to go online and order that from Amazon or somewhere that you know where you can buy them from. Otherwise, you can look at the exceptions, which would be a Harbor Freight model. Same thing, it seems as like it's built well, it just doesn't have a huge tank to put a lot of your solution in. So if you can't get one of these and you need some right away and you have a Harbor Freight, you may consider this guy right here, 10 bucks. So here's some of the chemicals, or I should say solutions, that we're going to use today, cleaning solutions. A lot of people like to use Simple Green. It seems like a decent cleaning solution to use on these particular units, with the exteriors and interiors being all wet down. The one we're going to use today is this purple Simple Green. It's the Pro Heavy Duty Cleaner. It's not going to do anything rough to the surfaces of your unit, so you don't have to worry about it fading or causing any issues. I would suggest a laundry detergent. We chose Percel, which is sold alongside of the Simple Green at your local Home Depot. It seems to be a really good thick type of laundry detergent, and it mixes well with this to give you a really good soap cover when you're trying to pre-soak your unit to get off that hard grime and dirt. So once you do your pre-soak and you spray it down with this guy, you're probably going to want to come back, and this is when this will come into play with this. This is a McGregor's Gold Class cleaning solution, and it's just made to clean your standard vehicles and stuff. It works really good on this too with this. So once you pre-soak your chemicals, your cleaning solutions, or whatever you're using on there, and you rinse it off, you'll do a final cleaning by hand with this and then spray it down one more time for the final result. Then you'll dry it. So we'll go over this as we do it today and show you how this little soap cannon works, as opposed to just using some regular soap in a bucket and a hand brush. Okay, so the first step is just do a general pre-rinse with just plain water. You don't need to use any of these at first. You're just gonna rinse over your unit. I would suggest, because most people have that one question, can I spray the inside of these units? A lot of videos don't talk about this, but yes, most of these units are made water resistant to waterproof, I would say. I mean, if you submerge the whole unit underwater, chances are you're gonna have some engine issues until you get all the water out. But as far as just spraying in here simply to clean out, not a big deal. I would recommend not spraying hardcore like your dashboard, your electronic dashboard here, or any type of accessories you may have added. Just give them a quick rinse to get the dust and dirt off, but don't soak them all psychotic. Same with your seats, unless they're full of mud, you've gone into some really grimy areas. I would try to just do a quick little rinse, and even with the soap, just a quick little soap over it, let it soak and rinse it down. Just remember, these units have holes, and come on up and we can show them, on the floor, which allow the water to all drain out. I've put a couple mats in here, which seems kind of ridiculous, but they came out of another vehicle of mine. So come around this way, you'll have to get a view down there. But if you look under the center console, you can see the holes right down in that area down there. And those are the holes that allow all the water throughout the vehicle to just drain out. So you don't have to worry about flooding the interior of your vehicle when you're rinsing it. So what we'll go ahead and do is we're gonna hook up the soap cannon after we do our pre-rinse, and then we'll start getting the pre-soak of the cleaning solutions done first. Okay, so now that we did the first pre-rinse, what we want to do is get our soap cannon ready to go. You should have like a little nozzle that will come off the end. It's like a little bit that actually allows you to spray at different types of spray widths and whatnot. So you're just going to pull your little fitting back and then put that right on. And that should connect right onto the end of your sprayer. So when you're adding this, I would add 1/4 of the simple green and more parts soap than anything. Unless you really have some thick mud or dirt on there or some type of grime that's really sticky, then you could add a little bit more, but don't go psycho on the simple green. Use more soap than anything. So let me go ahead and turn this on, and then we'll give her a spray so you can see what the soap cannon actually does if you've never used one before. Okay, so now that we've let the solution sit for a little bit and soak in, we're going to go ahead and give it a rinse. It's looking better. So this is the point. Now that you've done your pre-soak with your cleaning solutions and you've also done a rinse, you would go and do your final cleaning with your regular cleaning solution, whatever the brand is you decide to use, and then your little hand cleaner, sponge or cloth or whatever the name of this thing is. I just know it cleans well. And fill up your bucket, and then just go over your panels where you're gonna have a lot of fingerprints or just areas in the fenders here where a lot of extra dirt or mud may get. Can use this. I would even suggest maybe using this for your floors. The sides here that aren't this clear coat looking plastic. This inner areas here, your tires and rims are okay with this guy, but just like your door plastics and your side plastics, I would recommend using the hand cloth or the hand scrubber so you can avoid those scratches. So we'll go ahead and get this started. We'll be right back. Okay, so here's the part where we use the regular cleaning soap. Just get a little bit on here and just go over your plastics easy. Don't push all hard and scrape it. Just let it glide over naturally. And I'm not gonna do the whole unit over because my unit really wasn't that dirty. It was just dusty. So you can go over every little bit of this actually, wherever you want. It's not gonna hurt it. But plastics are the biggest thing that you try to not want to scratch up unless you roll your unit or something. Then it's just damaged, period. But you want to be able to keep them looking nice. I take pride in stuff that I buy, especially items of the price of this unit. I mean, I could buy a new car, a more inexpensive car, but a new car for this price. So just get everywhere, get your rims. This thing really holds a lot of good water. Get in all your little crevices. Take some joy in this thing, because this thing will give you some joy in return. You know, you can get your springs if you get a little bit of grime or tar on your springs. Come in here. This unit's so new though that it's really not even that dirty. I'm still trying to break it in, guys, so if you've been watching my other videos, the installation videos regarding the light bar, the whip lights, the stereo system or whatnot, I know I mentioned that we're gonna have a video where I show you how this thing drives. It doesn't mean I'm gonna ramp off of a cliff with it, but I do want to get some drone footage and some different cool footage for you guys to see it just driving with 4 people as well, so you can see its capabilities. Later on, when we do performance upgrades such as horsepower and suspension, maybe we'll start doing something a little more extreme with this. But for now, I don't want to ruin my unit, so I'm just gonna love on it for a little while and enjoy it, but not beat it up right away. And this is how I work with all my things, is I take care of all of it. So, you know, $20,000 plus on something that's not a necessity, that's a big investment. I don't want to have to keep buying it. Now, if I'm baller status and I'm just rich and I can just afford to buy one every year, then whatever. But I'm not. So at this point, I want to take care of my things so they last me a little bit of time. So once you get all soaped up to your specification, go ahead and give it another rinse. We'll do that in just a second. Alright guys, time for the final step, drying the unit. We went ahead and used our solutions, did the pre-rinse, the pre-soak, then we rinsed it again, and then we went ahead and scrubbed it with our little hand cloth, our little hand scrubber, with some regular exterior vehicle cleaner. And now we're just going to take our little soft cloths and we're going to dry. Remember, when you're drying on these, it has a rough side and kind of a softer side. They're both pretty soft, but I would suggest just barely going over it. And if you can even just do this, just kind of drag it. Don't push on it. Just let it kind of drag itself on the plastics. That'll kind of prevent you from putting deep scratches into your plastics. If you're like me and you're fickle about keeping your things real clean and nice looking, regardless if these things are built to take a beating and be out in the mud and submerged in water, I still like to take care of my stuff. So some of you guys are probably buying these things once a year, so you just don't give a shit. And I can understand that. Like I said, if that's your ability is to go out and buy a new unit every year, so you're not too worried about if it gets a little bit tore up, then cool. But I plan on having this unit for a few years or longer, you know, and then I'll pass it down, maybe get another one later. When the kids get older and they're out of the house, we may just buy a two-seater and then really start womping on some stuff. But for now, this is more of like, what we bought this for was more of like a family unit to go out and still have fun and go places, but not to be doing anything too psycho. I'd rather get a two-seater for that. So as I sit here and BS with you guys why I clean off everything, you can see how nice everything came off. Even the wheel wells, look how nice and clean and dark that is. That simple green and that soap, along with a little bit of the final wax cleaner, which is what's in that McGregor solution, that's kind of like a final wax and buff. So, and I wouldn't go like this. Have you noticed I'm just kind of wiping it off? Gravity goes down, so wipe it downwards. Just give it a smooth little, and come back, do it again, but don't go in circles. You leave all those buffing patterns and scratches. Just try to remember. Sometimes when you're doing it, you forget. But this is how you'll dry your unit, and you'll go in and you'll just do your seats, your dash, everything the same way. You're just wiping it down. There's no special way at this point other than just hand dry it. You can use a compressor too with a little air nozzle if you want to blow out the finer areas of water on your unit. It's up to you. But when we're done, we'll come back and show you what it looks like all dry. Okay guys, so we are finished. Final product. As you can see just from that view alone how shiny it looks. Just remember we went over the different cleaners. The foam gun is probably one of the coolest parts of being able to do this like you've seen the foam do in a short period of time. Alternatives once again was the Harbor Freight version. Haven't used it yet, but I have it as a backup in case this one fails. If you take a quick look, you can see just from looking with the naked eye that everything came out really good. The plastics on the doors came out really nice and shiny. The interior looks really nice. If you look over here at the dashboard, then you can see how nice and just dark and everything is. Not just the outside, but yeah, everything came out really nice. Back seat area, you can see everything there. Even the floor mats and everything came out nice. I put some vehicle floor mats in here just to keep from scraping up and all the stuff that comes up from the bottom, the dust into the holes. The mats kind of block that. If you look at the back right here, you can see everything's really nice. One thing is to consider scrubbing this area and drying it really good, because this area heats up. The motor's right under here. This plastic seems to leave water spots a little bit more than any of your other areas. I would just recommend rinsing the roof if you have the Bohemi roof and just letting it dry by air. It does fast. But yeah, looking at everything, it looks really nice. So I hope today we were able to help you guys figure out a way to use cleaning solutions and what to use to be able to get your UTV right. We are going to do another video. It's going to go over how to be able to afford to buy one of these, or steps on how to buy one of these, financing or putting down a full chunk of money. But look out for the link. That'll be in the bottom of the description box as well for that other video, as well as some of the links on the chemicals and cleaning solutions we use today. Thanks for joining Review It TV, and if you like the video and you want to see more, subscribe. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.